chosen one, they're no longer strategizing, they're scrambling. Every curse they whispered bounced back like it hit a force field they couldn't see but could feel. What they don't understand is that your protection isn't just spiritual, it's intelligent. It adapts, it counters, it exposes. Every plot they've ever hatched has only led to their own undoing. The divine network guarding your path has been 10 steps ahead from the start, intercepting attacks before you even sensed them. And now, they're paranoid, sleepless, unraveling in silence because deep down, they know. They've been fighting something far bigger than you. Those sudden chills, those random moments of unease, they were warnings. Your spirit has been in rooms your body never entered. Heaven gave you the blueprint long before the betrayal unfolded. Every dream, every strange silence, every moment you felt eyes on you when no one was around. It was divine surveillance alerting you to the shadows creeping behind the curtain. They thought their secrets were safe, but the Most High made sure you heard the whispers in your soul. You weren't paranoid, you were being prepped. Now, as their plots surface and their masks slip, you'll realize you were never outnumbered. You were outmaneuvering them the entire time. That tightness in your chest, the sudden urge to look over your shoulder, the names that popped into your mind without warning, those were not coincidences. That was divine intel encrypted into your intuition. While they whispered your name behind closed doors, heaven broadcasted their identities straight into your spirit. You weren't losing your mind, you were gaining clarity. Your spiritual senses were heightened for a reason, so you could walk through the battlefield untouched, fully aware of every trap before it was even set. They thought they moved in secret, but every step they took was spotlighted by the light that walks with you. They've dissected your life like a case file, mapping your movements, twisting your truths, trying to decode your destiny. They've sat in circles of envy, feeding off your name like it's a threat to their very existence. But what they fail to realize is that your life isn't powered by popularity, it's anchored in purpose. Yes, they've tried to sabotage your relationships, derail your finances, blur your vision, and poison your reputation. But what God built in you wasn't meant to crumble, it was meant to withstand fire. You're not shaken by their tactics because you're not standing alone. You're walking in the shadow of a victory that was sealed before you were even born. Their warfare is real, but so is your anointing, and no weapon formed will ever be enough to undo what God has already declared over your life. The resistance you're facing is not a sign that you're failing, it's evidence that you're rising. You're not under attack because you're weak, you're under attack because you're awakening. Heaven doesn't waste resources on the irrelevant. You've been marked not for destruction, but for dominion. The pressure, the betrayal, the sudden storms, they're all signals that your spiritual rank has shifted. You're walking in a new authority now, and the forces that once ignored you can't afford to anymore. You've become a threat simply by being who you are. And every hit you've taken? It's sharpening the crown that already sits in the spirit with your name engraved in gold. It's okay that you've cried out in frustration, wondering why the storm hasn't passed. It's okay that you've felt abandoned while dodging arrows meant to break you. But understand this, God never promised a life without war. He promised victory in the midst of it. The very fact that you're still standing, still breathing, still refusing to bow to darkness, that's not weakness. That's proof of supernatural covering. Others folded under half the pressure you've endured. But you keep rising. Because God's protection doesn't always look like a shield. It often looks like you not breaking under what was designed to destroy you. You haven't been forgotten. You've been forged. Your survival is not just a miracle, it's a message. You weren't just preserved, you were positioned. Everything that came to break you only revealed the force that walks with you. Look at the pattern. Those chosen by God are always met with resistance equal to their calling. You are no exception. Just like Esther stood before a king, like Joseph rose from the pit to the palace, like Jeremiah was mocked for his voice, you too are walking a path carved by the divine. The fire was never meant to consume you, it was meant to refine you. You are not just enduring history, you are echoing it. You carry the same legacy of resilience, the same anointing that has always threatened darkness. That's why the attacks have been relentless. But so is your purpose. In the spirit realm, you don't show up as someone barely surviving. You show up as established, fortified, and glorious. In a recent vision, your presence radiated like a fortress wrapped in light, an architectural wonder no storm could touch. This wasn't just a dream, it was divine confirmation. What God has built in you is untouchable by human hands. They've thrown stones, spoken curses, tried to shake your foundation, but all they've done is prove how unshakable you truly are. Your spirit, like that mansion, is evidence of divine craftsmanship, detailed, expansive, and destined to house greatness. They're not fighting you, they're fighting what you're about to carry. The mansion wasn't just grand, it was strategic. Every floor told a story, every room pulsed with divine intention. This is how heaven catalogs your identity, not by what you've lost, but by what you've been entrusted with. The rooms glow with anointings you haven't even tapped into yet, blueprints for businesses, mantles for healing, keys to nations, revelations waiting to be unlocked. There are chambers filled with spiritual technologies waiting for the right moment to activate. God didn't build you small, He built you expansive, multidimensional, eternal. This is why the warfare has been so targeted, because in the spirit realm, you're already living in what others haven't even begun to imagine. This house wasn't rushed into existence. It was woven through every trial, every tear, every moment you chose faith over fear. Its beams are carved from your perseverance, its windows framed by the clarity you've gained through suffering. Lightning has struck, winds have howled, enemies have circled, but nothing has breached the structure. Why? Because it wasn't built by man. It was spoken into being by God Himself. He laid the first stone before you took your first breath. He inspected every angle with precision, reinforced every corner with promises, and sealed the foundation with eternal covenant. You are not living in a spiritual shack. You are the dwelling place of divine glory, immovable, unstoppable, and designed to last. Your spiritual inheritance is unbreakable and eternal. It's not tied to circumstances, opinions, or battles on this earth. It's anchored in a heavenly contract that no power can override. The title to your destiny is engraved with eternal ink, secured by the promises of the Almighty. Every attempt to claim your ground, to seize your blessings, or to erase your legacy will falter because your foundation is sovereignly protected. This isn't just a promise, it's a divine decree. What God has established in you is forever, and no force in the natural or supernatural realm can dismantle the kingdom planted within your soul. This mansion is far more than a home. It is your command center. Within its walls, strategies are born and victories are birthed. It's where your spirit aligns with heaven's will, where clarity breaks through confusion, and where your connection to divine power flows without interruption. This sacred space fuels your purpose and arms you for battle. From here, you move with authority, sending light into the darkest places, dismantling strongholds, and advancing your kingdom mandate with unstoppable force. Your mansion is both refuge and war room, a place of peace and power, perfectly designed for the destiny you were created to fulfill. You stand watchful at the window of your soul, not trapped, not imprisoned, but alert and discerning. From this place of divine safety, your eyes scan the horizon, reading the subtle shifts in the spiritual winds before danger arrives. This is not paranoia, it is prophetic vigilance. God has sharpened your senses to detect deception before it manifests, to feel the tremors of unseen schemes, and to anticipate moves before they're made. Your position isn't accidental, it's ordained. You are a sentinel in the spirit realm, standing guard over your territory, ready to respond with wisdom and power. The kingdom of darkness may lurk beyond the glass, but you see it coming long before it can touch your peace. You are not retreating in silence or shrinking away from the battle. You are strategically placed on the high ground, watchful, discerning, and empowered. From your vantage point, You witness the subtle shifts in the unseen realm while remaining firmly anchored in divine light. Unlike those blinded by distraction or denial, you carry the gift of clarity, a sacred perspective that allows you to track the enemy's movements without losing your peace. You are both observer and warrior, standing in the perfect balance of awareness and protection. This elevated position isn't by chance. It's a divine assignment to navigate the spiritual battlefield with wisdom and grace. Chosen one, your vigilance is a sacred strength, a gift woven into your spirit to keep you one step ahead. You don't peer out with trembling hands or a restless heart. You stand firm, grounded in the peace of divine protection. Your watchfulness flows from wisdom, not worry. It's the quiet confidence of one who knows the battlefield but refuses to be shaken by it. This clarity allows you to prepare, to respond, and to move with purpose. Your alertness is a weapon in your arsenal, a beacon of light cutting through the darkness, not a burden to weigh you down. Your enemies tremble in the shadows because they sense the unwavering gaze tracking their every step. Their plans crumble before they even unfold, their secrecy shattered by your keen spiritual insight. What once relied on stealth and deception now meets a force that refuses to be caught off guard. They come with full armor and fierce intent, but your presence dismantles their confidence. This isn't a mere confrontation, it's a declaration that you are untouchable. They don't advance cautiously, they flee in panic, realizing that the power guarding you is far greater than anything they brought to the fight. The variety of weapons thrown your way reflects the complexity of the battle you're in. Some attacks cut deep and personal like a knife, sharp words aim to wound your spirit. Others come like a gunshot, sudden and explosive, meant to shock and destabilize. Some strike with blunt force like sticks or stones, persistent pressures designed to wear you down over time. Each weapon is a tactic aimed at a different part of your life, your relationships, your mind, your purpose, your faith. But no matter the form or ferocity, every attack meets the unyielding fortress of your divine protection, crafted precisely to withstand every assault, no matter the shape it takes. The knife strikes are the cruelest because they come disguised as friendship, loyalty, or love. They slice through your defenses when you least expect it, words whispered in confidence, betrayals wrapped in smiles, wounds inflicted by those who once held your heart. These attacks aim to fracture your trust, sow doubt in your soul, and leave invisible scars that echo long after the moment passes. But remember, even the deepest cuts can heal when guarded by divine grace. Your heart is resilient, strengthened by the very pain meant to break it, and each scar becomes a testament to your ability to love fiercely despite the wounds. The gunfire comes without warning, swift, distant, and designed to knock you off balance before you can react. These attacks strike through the unseen systems that govern your life, sudden layoffs that shake your security, financial storms that drain your resources, health battles that test your endurance, and legal battles that threaten your peace. They feel like ambushes from a world you trusted to hold you steady. But know this, though the shots may come fast and fierce, your spiritual armor is reinforced by faith, resilience, and divine intervention. No matter how far the threat seems, it cannot penetrate the protection that surrounds your destiny. The stick attacks aren't flashy. They're the slow grind of wear and tear meant to erode your spirit piece by piece. Like relentless waves pounding ashore, these constant blows come as harsh words, persistent rejection, and disappointments that pile up until the weight feels unbearable. They're designed not to break you all at once, but to sap your strength over time, hoping exhaustion will silence your fight. But your spirit is forged in endurance. Every blow you withstand strengthens your resolve. Every setback refines your purpose, and every moment you refuse to quit is a victory carved out of the pressure meant to crush you. The rocks hurled at you are loud and visible, public assaults meant to shake the foundation of your name and dismantle the trust others place in you. These stones come as slander on social media, whispered rumors that twist truth into poison, and accusations designed to isolate you from your community. But while they aim to scar your reputation, they only reveal the desperation of your adversaries. Their confusion fuels their frustration because they cannot understand how your influence remains unshaken, how your character stands firm under fire. Each stone they throw only highlights the strength of the legacy you're building, one that no lie or attack can erode. Your enemies gather behind closed doors, frustrated and desperate because their usual tactics fall flat against you. The same schemes that shattered others crumble when aimed at your spirit. Their rehearsed attacks meet a force they didn't anticipate. Your anointing, refined and battle-tested, acts as an impenetrable shield. No stale strategy, no recycled plot can penetrate the divine power flowing through you. They're forced to invent new tactics, but every plan falters because you are not ordinary. You are divinely equipped to stand strong where others fall. In the hidden chambers of darkness, your name echoes like a warning, a name attached to an unbreakable legacy. They speak in hushed, frustrated tones, discarding every weapon that once brought others down, only to find it powerless against your divine shield. Not the gun, not the stick, not the stone, they murmur, defeated before the fight even begins. Their playbook is empty, their plans unraveling with every failed attempt. Each attack that bounces off your protection only fuels your rise higher. Every failure for them is a step of promotion for you. The spiritual realm witnesses your unstoppable ascent as your enemy's frustration becomes the soundtrack to your victory. Your spiritual resume reads like a testimony of triumph against every assault meant to break you. Every weapon fired has ricocheted harmlessly off your armor. Every scheme designed to weaken you has instead fueled your growth. The financial storms they conjured only cultivated your abundance, turning scarcity into surplus. The attacks on your relationships failed to isolate you. Instead, they revealed your true allies and deepened your bonds. The blows aimed at your health forged resilience and renewed strength. And the attempts to tarnish your reputation only amplified your voice and expanded your influence. Each assault became a stepping stone, elevating you higher into your divine purpose. Their chaos in the spirit realm is your loudest confirmation of victory. When your enemies gather to debate and plot, it reveals how impenetrable your defense truly is. Their ordinary tactics have become useless, forcing them into desperate innovation, scrambling for weapons that might breach the fortress God built around you. Their confusion isn't weakness on your part. It's proof that your spiritual armor is unmatched, that your protection is on a whole different level. Every hesitation in their ranks is a celebration in heaven, a sign that you are untouchable, unstoppable, and divinely safeguarded beyond their reach. Your name echoes through the unseen realms like a warning siren, an unstoppable force forged by fire and faith. Darkness knows you're different. You're not a casualty to be taken lightly, but a warrior who rises stronger with every strike. You bend, but never break. You stumble, but refuse to stay down, and your spirit refuses to yield, no matter how fierce the storm. Your resilience is a supernatural force that shatters every plan crafted against you, leaving your enemies bewildered and scrambling for answers. Their arsenal grows empty because your endurance writes a legacy they cannot erase. Their endless debates and bitter arguments over how to breach your defense only spotlight the undeniable truth. You walk under a protection so fierce, so divinely ordained, that ordinary attacks are powerless against you. Their grudging admission of past failures is a silent tribute to the fortress around your spirit. You aren't vulnerable to the same tactics that topple others. Your shield is forged from heavenly strength, rendering typical assaults ineffective. This recognition in the enemy camp is more than frustration. It's a testament to the supernatural covering that surrounds you, making you untouchable and unbreakable in every battle. Every frantic move they make is a spotlight shining on your rising destiny. Their desperation reveals how high you've been lifted beyond their reach. Their confusion exposes the invisible shield enveloping you, crafted by divine hands. Their frustration rings out like a victorious anthem, proof that you walk under unshakable favor. The harder they try to break you, the clearer it becomes that their efforts are powerless against the foundation God laid within your spirit. Nothing in their arsenal can touch what heaven has ordained to stand forever. Their frantic rush betrays their fear. They're scrambling because time is not on their side. With every sunrise, your shield thickens. With every step, your authority in the spirit realm deepens. Your anointing isn't static. It's a living fire, fueled by purpose and refined through trial. They see your rise and know their chance to strike grows slimmer by the hour. Their desperation is proof that you're moving into a destiny too powerful for them to contain. While they race against the clock, you walk confidently into the fullness of what God has ordained, unstoppable and ever increasing in divine strength. When all else failed, they reached for the final weapon, their most ruthless and devastating move, designed to reduce your fortress to ashes. This weapon wasn't just another attack, it was meant to be the end, the total collapse of everything you've built and believed in. It was crafted to scorch your spirit, to consume your legacy in flames of despair and defeat. But what they didn't realize is that this final attempt would ignite a purification fire, one that would refine your foundation even stronger, making your mansion not just survive the blaze, but rise from the ashes more radiant and unshakable than ever before. This weapon was their desperate last resort, a blazing inferno aimed at incinerating every cornerstone of your existence. It wasn't merely an attack, it was an attempt to erase your purpose, dismantle your legacy, and obliterate the divine inheritance entrusted to you. Like a nuclear strike meant to leave nothing standing, this final strategy was designed for total annihilation. But what they fail to grasp is that your foundation is forged from eternal fire, tested and purified beyond destruction. Their ultimate weapon only lights the way for your resurrection, transforming the ashes of their rage into the soil of your unstoppable rise. This final weapon wasn't aimed at mere wounds or temporary pain. It was crafted to obliterate your very essence. It sought to erase your name from the pages of destiny, to silence your voice and erase every mark you've made in this world. This attack was about complete annihilation, a dark attempt to wipe clean the canvas of your purpose and legacy. But what they fail to see is that your spirit is eternal, rooted in divine promise and sealed by unbreakable covenant. No force can erase what God has inscribed in heaven, and your legacy will outlast every attempt to extinguish it. This weapon was their darkest strategy, a brutal reset button meant to erase everything you've built and force you back to the very beginning. It wasn't designed for mere setbacks or wounds. It aimed to incinerate your progress, to leave nothing recognizable behind. They wanted to reduce your purpose to ashes, stripping away every victory, every lesson, every step forward, hoping you would emerge defeated and broken beyond repair. But what they don't realize is that your spirit is forged in fire, designed to rise from ashes, rebuilt stronger and more radiant. Because true resilience isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down. Unlike cracks that can be patched or walls that can be rebuilt, fire is an enemy that threatens to consume everything, reducing your mansion to smoldering ruins. It seeks to erase your hard-earned legacy, to burn away every blessing, every relationship, every dream carefully cultivated through years of faith and labor. The flames don't just scorch the surface, they aim to annihilate your spiritual inheritance, your purpose, your influence, all at once. But what they fail to realize is that what God builds cannot be consumed by any earthly fire. Your true foundation is eternal, and from these ashes, a new, even greater chapter will rise. This weapon was not merely an assault on your life's circumstances, it was a direct strike at the very essence of your being. It aimed to dismantle your identity, extinguish your calling, and erase the divine imprint God placed within you. This fire sought to annihilate your foundation so utterly that no rebuilding could be imagined, to scorch your present and cast shadows over the generations yet to come. It was a calculated attempt to wipe your name from the eternal ledger, to silence your impact, and sever the legacy God ordained long before you were born. But what they don't understand is that the Spirit who raised you up is greater than any fire they kindle, and your legacy is written in flames that only forge, never consume. This was the enemy's last gasp, their final gamble when all other tactics crumbled against your divine armor. Every sword, every arrow, every scheme had been dismantled by your supernatural covering. Now, in desperation, they reached for a weapon beyond the natural, a blaze meant to consume everything. This fire was their admission that ordinary assaults are powerless against you. When normal warfare fails, they resort to the extraordinary. But what they don't realize is that your spirit is forged to withstand even the fiercest flames. This final move only reveals how unstoppable you truly are. The very unleashing of such devastating force is a testament to your unstoppable power and influence. They reserve their fiercest weapons for giants, not for the faint or the forgotten. This level of assault reveals how deeply you threaten their strongholds, how brightly your light exposes their darkness. They don't wage total war on someone insignificant. They come with everything they have because you carry a destiny too great to ignore. Your impact shakes realms, and their desperation only confirms the magnitude of what you're building. The fiercest weapon, reserved only for those carrying the heaviest anointing and the greatest destiny, refused to ignite against you. The enemy's attempt to unleash their most destructive fire faltered and died before it could even spark. This failure is not random. It's a powerful symbol of your divine protection and unshakable faith. No matter how hard they try to set ablaze what God has built within you, their efforts are extinguished by the power surrounding your life. The very inability to light this weapon reveals the fortress of grace and strength that guards your purpose, proving that you are untouchable by the fiercest storms. Your prayer life is not just a routine, it's a powerful fortress that activates in your darkest moments. When the enemy's fiercest attacks rose to consume you, your spiritual shield ignited, a divine firewall ignited by your faith and relentless prayers. This sacred barrier surrounds you like an unbreakable fortress, repelling every attempt to harm, dismantle, or erase what God has placed within you. No weapon, no matter how sharp or strong, can breach the walls built by your connection to the Almighty. Your prayers are your strongest defense, turning back every storm before it reaches your doorstep. Even in the shadows where darkness gathers, your divine covering shines so brightly it cannot be ignored. Your enemies, though desperate to break you, are forced to acknowledge the unbreakable fortress surrounding your life. Their curses fall silent in the face of your undeniable favor. In the spiritual realm, your name is spoken with grudging respect, an unshakable force they dare not confront. When their weapons are cast down and their attacks cease, it's their own admission that you walk in a protection reserved only for those anointed at the highest levels. This is the mark of the truly untouchable, and it's yours by divine design. They've failed to bring your house down, so now they resort to scratching the surface, attempting to deface what they cannot demolish. You watch from the safety of your fortress as their petty vandalism mars the walls. But their marks are nothing more than temporary stains on a foundation that will never crumble. Though their efforts sting and your heart aches for the disrespect shown to what God has built, you know deep inside that these scratches hold no power to erase your purpose. Your mansion stands unshaken, beautiful, and intact beneath the fleeting chaos, proof that destruction was never within their reach. Their goal was total annihilation, an attempt to reduce your legacy to irreparable ruins, to erase every blessing and leave you with nothing but loss. They aimed for permanent devastation, knowing that when a mansion burns completely, the cost is more than just rebuilding. It's starting over from nothing. They wanted you to feel the weight of loss so heavy that the idea of recovery seemed impossible. But what they don't realize is that your spirit is anchored in restoration, that no fire can truly consume what God has planted deep within you. Even if the walls fall, the foundation remains unshaken, ready to rise stronger than ever before. What you're facing now is nothing more than graffiti, marks on the surface meant to intimidate, but unable to touch the core of who you are. This is not the fire that consumes. It's a temporary defacement against a fortress that remains unshaken. Your foundation is strong, built by God's own hands, and no spray of chaos can erase the beauty and purpose embedded deep within your spirit. The mansion still stands tall, proud, and untarnished beneath the fleeting stains. What others see as damage, heaven sees as a sign of resilience, a reminder that your true identity cannot be painted over or destroyed. What feels like vandalism against your blessings and purpose is not a sentence of destruction, but a call to restoration. Just as graffiti can be erased, cleaned, or covered with fresh paint, so too can the marks left by attacks on your legacy be removed by divine intervention. Your spiritual house may bear the temporary scars of opposition, but these blemishes are not permanent. God has equipped you with powerful restoration tools, healing balm for your wounds, cleansing waters for your soul, and fresh anointing to cover every stain. What appears as lasting damage is simply a moment in time, easily repaired and renewed, so your destiny can shine brighter than ever before. Beneath every mark and scar lies an unbreakable fortress. Your mansion's core remains flawless and unyielding. No matter how fierce the surface assault, the true foundation of your spirit stands firm, anchored by divine strength and unwavering faith. This is the undeniable proof of your protection, that even the darkest weapons designed for total destruction cannot penetrate the walls God Himself constructed. Their attempts at permanent loss have been rendered powerless, confirming that your destiny is sealed and your legacy secured beyond any attack or attempt to steal what is eternally yours.